Last time the message was Harsar Sagar Nirmal Soi Sant Chuge Nit Gurmukh Hoi isnaan Kare Sadaa Din Rati ha-umai mailaa chukaavani-aa. Page 128. And the thought was Harsar. Har means the ultimate creator of everything. Sar means the ocean, sarovar, sagar, ocean. Nirmal, the purest possible form. Harsar Sagar Nirmal Soi. The ultimate creator is like a purest form of the ocean. Once that is internalized, then Sant Chuge Nit Gurmukh Hoi. Those who start partaking, tasting, chuge. Chuge means to pick it and taste it. Sant chuge. Those who taste that purest form of the ocean, they are the true follower on the path, Gurmukh. Those who are following on the path described by the true master. So see the message. The emphasis is on the taste, not the talk. Not the discussion, not winning an argument and saying, see, I know it better than you do. Look. No, have you tasted it? You can sit on a bridge and discuss the properties of the water that's flowing underneath it. Every science student, when is taught the elementary physics, they are told the properties of the matter, properties of the liquid, properties of the gases. So now, if they have understood the properties of the liquid, do they know what the liquid is? Do they understand it? Will they recognize it? Sitting on the beach does not tell you what water is. Discussing the properties of the water doesn't tell you what the water is. Only when you throw yourself in the water, you know. So the message last time was emphasizing Sant Chuge. Those who are walking on the path, their test is, have they tasted it? Is it an experiential awareness, or is it just intellectual gymnastics? If they have learned to use the language very well, you can be impressed very much by the oratory of the speaker. And we have used this metaphor many times, that you can actually get a PhD on the subject of swimming without ever stepping your toe into the water. There are books written. There are diagrams, there are pictures. They have calculated what should be the angle, how many strokes of the arms and how many strokes of the legs, and they will give you all the theory behind it. And unless somebody picks you up and throws you in the water and say, "Professor, now come out." When we were studying mathematics, there used to be an ongoing joke between the professors and the students. The professor of mathematics was teaching the law of averages. And a professor of mathematics took his family on a vacation. The children wanted to swim. And he said, "Please wait." So he went to the counter, bought a book, and found out the average depth of the water near the beach. Then he calculated the average height of the children. Since the average height of the children was higher than the average depth of the beach, he told the children to go ahead. He came back only with his wife.
Good one.
And he couldn't figure out where did he go wrong. It's perfectly logical. I followed what I was taught. Measure the averages. You don't measure the thing at every spot, you take the average. That is a difference between an intellectual knowledge and experiential awareness. If you are intellectually informed but experientially completely naive, you will also only come back alive all by yourself, the rest will be drowned. Which is what is happening to the humanity at large. We are being led by intellectuals, and we are taken in by their solid argument shown on a piece of paper. They stand on the blackboard and they write it down. Look, how much margin of safety do you need if the average depth is 3 feet and the average height is 4 feet? Don't you think I have covered enough? Let everybody go. It so turned out the wife was 7 feet tall and the children were only 3 feet. Average turned out to be okay, but lost the entire family. This is how we understand from the preacher. Preacher presents you with the same logic. Hey, this has been studied, analyzed, and concluded. You can go into that water. Look, here is the mathematics. In writing, black and white. Nobody is pulling any wool over your eyes. So many experts have checked these calculations. Every religious preacher is doing exactly that. Hey, this has been going on for eons of time, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. This has been repeated, documented. How much proof do you need? But they don't tell you that when the real messenger was alive and the words were coming out of his mouth into the ears of the listener, the piece of paper that you are showing me now came into existence hundreds of years afterwards. but they want you to believe it is the purest form of the God's message. How much fun are we going to make of this little word, God? When you put these scriptures together and say, God said this to this guy, this to this guy. Not only that, God said two different things to the same guy. Why is God changing his mind? Well, he is God, he can do anything he wants. If he can give you better thing, won't you accept it? That's the logic. It appeals very much. Oh, 2 years ago, God told you this. And 2 years later, he's saying, no, that's not, this is. And this is better information. What argument you have against it? And when you say, is your God not all-knowing? Of course he is. Then did he not know first time what to say? Of course he did. That was applicable then, this is applicable now. Oh, so God is also opportunistic? He just looks at the time and space and makes the things up? There are no eternal, infallible laws of the nature that he should be giving, or she should be giving, or it should be giving. What does it tell us? If we step back from all of it, take our emotional energy out of it, forget that I am born a Sikh or a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim, just forget all of that. Put the information in front of you and say, okay, now let me look at it objectively. Unless we are capable of doing that, we cannot see through the facade. Who does that? What is the characteristic? Har sar sagar nirmal soi, sant chuge nit gurmukh hoi. Those who want to taste it. I have heard you, I have digested the information, now I want to put it into practice. And you can give the time, whatever it is, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, whole life, it's your choice. But somewhere along the line, you will ask the question, okay, I heard this word and I implemented it. What has it done for me? Where am I today with respect to the time when I started? Am I at more peace with myself? Am I lesser greedy, angry, desirous, egotistical, lesser attached? Am I improving internally over the past X number of years? Whatever rituals you are doing, won't you check your milestone? And if you find that you may have actually got a little bit more angrier, or more egotistical, more arrogant, more vain, then would you not ask, am I doing this right? Is there something wrong with my process? How would you know that? Don't intellectualize it. That's in business world, that is called analysis of paralysis. You find that today very much in the young generation. One of the reasons younger generation is postponing the commitments in marriage or any relationship is analysis paralysis. Is this right? What if it's not? Let me check that one. Now I'm comparing. And I am analyzing and analyzing to the death. And the time is passing. Clock is ticking. Stop analyzing. Taste it. Step into the water. Don't critique anybody. Don't find faults with anybody. Those are intellectual faults. And the intellect is absolutely a master at giving you an argument for any action in your life. Any action. You name one, I'll give you the justification for it if you don't find it. Don't go after the brain. It's a memory. It's a computer. It's just a processing data. Turn inward. Turn this healing center on. Turn the volume. Feel. When you feel, what happens? isnaan kare sadaa din rati ha-umai mailaa chukaavani-aa. When you feel, the brain is out of the way. That means the ego is out of the way. Argument creates ego. Logic creates ego. Information creates ego. Why? Because our society says so. A matric pass is considered lower than an undergraduate. An undergraduate is considered lower than the graduate. A graduate is considered lower than a master. A master is considered lower than a PhD. Programming. More information you have, better you are supposed to be. You can't be a PhD of a heart. That's why Kabir says, पढ़ता पढ़ता जग हुआ ज्ञानी हुआ ना कोई, 28 अक्षर प्रेम कह पढ़े तो ज्ञानी हुए. Look at what he's saying. He says the world has been studying the scriptures. I don't find anybody who knows the truth. Why? It's all information. Who will know the truth? This is not the books. Just one word. And the one word has actually 2.5 syllables. Paraym. In Hindi, Sanskrit, Punjabi, the word paraym is spelled with the P, half-R and ma, M. P, one side. M, another side. A bond between the two, R. But half R, not full R. That bond is never complete. It is forever evolving. It never finishes. The one who understands the secret of that relationship, paraym, the true love, eternal love, that is the true knower. So if you get on that path, हर सागर निर्मल सोई संत जुगे नित गुरुमुख होई स्नान करे सदा दिन राति हा-umai mailaa chukaavani-aa. Then the ego is out of the way. Ha-umai, the impurity. When you go internally, you step away from the entire information stored here. You are purely on the feeling basis now. those who do that, what happens to them? The journey continues. Nirmal hansaa paraym-aa. Nirmal means pure. Hansa means swan. Paraym means love. Pya means the bondage. They start living and experiencing the purest form of relationship. That's why when we read life of someone like Krishna, he teaches you what the love is. He lives it on the ground. And what is his bond with his own consort? His consort is called Radha. And somebody defined it for me and said, Krishna was saying, Ra-ee. Raha means the way, De means to give me. Give me the way to life, to that eternal life. Who? Krishna, the ultimate energy. What's the bond? Nothing to do with the physical. Nothing to do with that movement of the time. Nothing to do with the physical bodies. Those who understand Nirmal hansaa paraym-aa, they start tasting it, experiencing it, living it every moment of their life. But what are we taught? In the East, all we read was that the two lovers are not supposed to meet and they're just supposed to stay separate and cry for each other and suffer because they are in love. And what did we learn in the West? If you are in love, just go and hop in the bed, that's enough. No other justification is required. Nothing else is required. Both miss the boat. Because it is neither supposed to be suffering nor physical entanglement. It is the taste of the ultimate, the supreme, total freedom. If you want to see the love, see a little bird who leaves the little child behind on the tree and flies away miles apart to get the feed for the child. And before the sun downs, it comes back. It knows where the child is, which tree, which branch, where that bird's little child is sitting. What brings them back? And when they grow up and ready to fly, what does the bird do? Flip the little critter out. That's called love. No pain, no suffering, no attachment. Neither one of them. Pure memory, pure experience, pure consciousness. We only read it in the novels. We have not tried to experience it. Why? Why can't we? Because we are trained right from the day one. Control. This is yours now. Hold it. This is my wife. I own it. Your skin belongs to me now. End of discussion. Where are you looking? Where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, why? Because I love you. Why don't you take a rope and just hang me? This is love? Or is it suffocation? If you want to walk on the path of mysticism, learn, understand, internalize the true concept of true love. Forget all other scriptures, all other books, all other philosophies. Learn to love. But what's going on? Yes, please love me. And the other says, no, you love me. Two beggars begging from each other. Both have nothing to give. Because both are beggars. What is the biggest complaint? You don't love me anymore. How do you know that? Well, you used to tell me how beautiful I am 20 days a day. What can I do? You are not that beautiful anymore. Oh no, but you should still tell me. Get out of this. It is a bondage. It is actually pulling you down. It's not letting you fly into the yonder, into the limitless sky. You can soar above the clouds if you just free yourself from this limited definition of lust, behaving as if it is a love. See its true nature. Nirmal hansaa paraym. And if you understand its true nature, what will happen? vasai ha-umai. The day you internalize the definition of true love, this will be your first experience of egolessness. First experience. Because the I which says, where are you going? Will you come back? When will you come back? That which is trying to control will actually say, I will be waiting for you. Go do your thing. Now the focus shifts. Focus from the I, tell me where are you going? Now the focus shifts. Take care of yourself. I'll be waiting for you. Whenever you're ready, I will still be here. Now where is the focus? On him. I disappears. The day you experience that first absence of the I, you will taste the first sensation of love. Or the first you experience the true sensation of love, you will experience the first moment of egolessness. This sense of exclusivity, you are mine. And we are trying to create a relationship with someone who is everybody's. You going to love God by telling him, you are mine now? Where are you going? And why are you looking at him? Is this the kind of relation you're going to create? That's why we don't see him. We only believe in possessions. That humans are also possessions. But the day you want to experience the sense of love, they are tied together. Your presence of your ego, the experiential, the outer experiential, and the feeling of love. If the feeling of love is there, I don't exist. And if the I does exist, then the feeling of love is not. Only lust is. Only attachment is. Only desire is. Only kamana is. Vasana is. Not love. Hasar vasai ha-umai maar, ahinis pareet, sabad saachai, harsar vaasaa paavni-aa. And this is not, once you taste it, it will not remain momentary. Because that feeling, once you get pregnant with that thought, this is one pregnancy you will never be able to deliver. It will only grow inside you. Bigger and bigger, more and more, better and better. This is one intoxicant. It will never let you come down from that high. Ahinis pareet sabad saachai. Ahinis, day and night. Sabad saachai, the purest form of the vibration. And what is that? Vaasaa paavni-aa. Now you are getting closer to him. Vaasaa, where he lives. The state of being in which he is. But that's not what we are trained for. That's not what we are discussed. We have never talked about it. We have no awareness of it. Hence, what do we do? Manmukh sadaa, mailaa, ha-umai, mailaa. So instead of a swan, swan also looks white, crane also looks white. Manmukh sadaa bagga means crane who stands on the beach with one leg, with 1.5 eye closed, and not a feather moving. Ever watched the crane standing in the water? Can you imagine the stillness of that bird? Looks like a saint in meditative samadhi. But what are the intention? The moment that half eye sees the shadow of the fish, his beak goes down into the water, catches the fish. From the outside, a meditator. From the inside, a hunter. But the swan is not like that. Manmukh sadaa mailaa. So this is what the people at large are. They are following manmukh. They are following their own mind, own information stored right here, learned from the society, from the parents, from the universities and colleges. Nothing but the information. And they follow that information. And they justify themselves based on that information. This is how I was raised. What do you want from me? One of the major reasons for the social family structure to fall apart is exactly this. Two people born and raised in a different environment, sometime in different religions, sometime in different countries, different nations, nationalities, and come together to make a home. Now why can't they make a home now? Well, because I was raised like this, so that's how I want to do. And the other says, no, I was raised like that, so this is how I want to do. Both are following their own mind and they are justifying based on the data that's stored. And the ego says, you surrender, I won't. The biggest cause of trouble in mixed marriages is when the children come in the middle. Now no compromise. I want to raise my children like this. The other one says, I want to change my reason like this. No compromise on that. I was willing to compromise for myself, but not for my children. What is happening? Manmukh. Following the information in the mind and pretending to be a swan, in reality to be a crane, and enforce the will based on ha-umai, the ego. Manmukh sadaa bag mailaa ha-umai malai. Look at this. One sentence, 6 words, and see what's hidden in it. The entire story of the entire humanity, not just you and me. There is no qualification that the Hindu is doing, or Muslim is doing, or Christian is doing. It says the people are following their mind. They are away from the ultimate truth. And they are insisting whatever is my information is correct, yours is wrong. That's why somebody asked a very long married couple and say, what's the secret of your marriage? And the man said, we have never fought. He said, how's that? Well, at dinner time, we sit and discuss a very important decision. He said, that's amazing. For 75 years? He said, yes. We discuss everything. And then we do whatever she says. We have never had an argument. Whatever she says. What does it mean? Even though it is presented in a humorous way, what does it mean? Every household needs one decision maker, one final authority. And forget the male and female dichotomy that is so popular in the Western culture. Forget about this. If you can sit around the table and decide your decision will be final, then so be it. Or if you decide your decision will be final, then so be it. The moment you say, okay, sometime you do your thing, sometime do it my way, now you are in trouble. Because you have just said, let's have 2 leaders of a single household. And intellectually it sounds very good. Sometimes you lead, I follow. Sometimes I lead, you follow. Very fair. What could be more democratic? But who's going to decide when you should lead and when the other should lead? Now the tussle will be, now this time mine. And the other will say, no, this time mine, you can have some other time. Back to square one. Haven't learned a thing. The message is, so long as the ego stands absolutely alive. Now understand why there is so much emphasis on the ego. We talk all the time. Pay attention. काम krodh, lo, moh. 4. Last is ahankar, last is the ego. Kam, desires. Krodh, the anger. Moh, the attachment. Lobh, the greed. And then the ego. Look at their behavior. The first 4 will become visible to you immediately. When you are angry, you will know it. Others will see it. When you are greedy, the others will know it. You will know it. And so forth. These 4 will always be easily identifiable. Ego will always hide. It will hide behind something. It will never show itself directly. And it will stand on its head and say, look, honey, I am just doing it for you. Where do you think I am going to run out with this all money? It's all yours. Why do you think I work so hard and overtime and the nights? And she says, I know what you do at nights. No, honey. I'm just putting overtime. So what has happened? The ego has gone underneath it and said, it's not doing anything for me, it's for you. That's why it is so difficult to try to do something about the ego, because it always hides. It always hides behind some very, very intellectually sophisticated logic. And unless you are the follower on the path, you would not be able to recognize it, much less deal with it. It won't be visible to you. You will say, where is it? Show me. Tell me, what did I do? What did I say? I don't have any ego. What are you talking about? That is the nature of the beast. And we are being told, manmukh sadaa, mailaa, ha-umai marai. isnaan kare par mail na jaye. Isnaan kare. You make efforts to control that ego. You try to wash that dirt of ego away. But ego is not showing itself, it's hiding. You're washing your hands. It's inside your skin. How washing the hands is going to help you? Ego hides. isnaan kare par mail na jaye, jeevat mare guru sabad beechaarai, ha-umai mail chukaavani-aa. The only way to do that is first accept I have an ego. First declare I want to be free from this disease. This means jeevat mare. Jeevat means while you are alive. Mare means to be dead. First acknowledge that you want to live. You want to be alive, but not with the help of ego. That would be, if you accept the ego's death inside you, that is jeevat, you will be alive, but mare. That is the total surrendering. I was watching a Sufi movie, and a Sufi mystic is working in the post office, and he's stamping the letters as they are going. And one of the desirous of becoming his student brings a letter to mail and gives it to him. And says, Master, would you also please put your stamp on my envelope? And the master says, you have left no space on your letter for my stamp. Understand? He says, your letter is full of your words. There is no space for me to put a stamp on your letter. This is how what we always approach the entire life with our words. We never empty ourselves so that somebody can put a stamp. Jeevat Marai, get ready to present an absolutely white, untarnished, undamaged heart to your master so that he can put a stamp. Jeevat Marai. And what would he do for you? He's not going to ask you to come now, start serving me a day and night. He's saying, no, here, go to sabad beechaarai. Take this word and do it with what I am doing with it. That will be it. The way I am meditating, you also meditate. Sit down. You want to ask any questions before we start? Go ahead. I'll sit down with you and answer all your questions. But now, jeevat marai, Guru Shabd beechaarai, ha-umai, chukaavani-aa. Only then this dirt of ego can be washed away. Forget the outside journey. Ratan padarth gharte paa-i-aa. Everything is already inside you. Everything. No master is going to put anything in you that you already don't have. The master might say, okay, here is the technique to bring that out from within you. That's all the master will do. Then he'll walk away. The rest is up to you. You can take it or leave it. He's neither happy that you took it, nor he's sad because you forgot about it. And if you come back again, he will happily repeat the same process again. Many times the people ask me, well, it's the same question everybody's asking. Don't you get tired of answering the same thing? So absolutely not. You can ask the same question 10 times and you'll get this answer 10 times without any irritations or anger on my part. Till it's not got inside, you want to repeat the question, please go. Continue. It's all inside you. Ratan padarth gharte paa-i-aa. Ratan padarth, the most valuable. Gharte means from within the body. You get everything from within you. How? Pure Sadgur Shabd sunaa-i-aa. The complete master showed me the way. That's all. He's only a messenger. Here is the message. Take it. Do something with it. Muhammad brought the message. Sufi took it. Ran away with it. The rest of the world is running around crazy. And the Sufis are sitting in their own quiet place and peaceful. Say, look at this. It's the same Quran. We also read the same Quran. It's the same Muhammad. We also understand the same Muhammad. Rest of the Islam is busy conquering the entire world, and the Sufi says, have you conquered yourself first? Before you can go and give this message to the entire earth, do you understand the message? Is it a part of you? Because if you haven't conquered yourself, buddy, you are not going to conquer anything. You're only going to increase your suffering and everybody else's suffering. Nothing is going to be conquered. And if you conquer yourself, a miracle is going to happen. All other conquering is going to become unnecessary. It has happened throughout the history of humanity. रतन पदार्थ करते पाया, पूरे सदगुरु शब्द सुनाया, गुर प्रसाद मिटिया अंधियारा, घट जानन आप पछानन. If you conquer yourself, what's going to happen? So there is going to be light inside you. Gur prasad mitiya anDhi-aaraa. The darkness inside disappeared. Okay, fine. Now there is light. So what are you seeing? Ghat chanan. There is light inside. Ghat inside. And what are you seeing? Aap pachhaanni-aa. You are seeing your original face. You are recognizing yourself. This is who I am, that I am. Your real self. You are no more a piece of meat, a man, a woman, a child, a black, a white, Indian, an American. None of that. You are it. I am that I am. You recognize. Aap pachhaanni. You recognize the true self. आप उपाय ते आपे वेखे, सदगुरु सेवे सो जन लेखे, नानक नाम वसे घटे अंतर, गुर कृपा ते पावनि-aa. But in the end, it's a matter who is willing to taste it, who is willing to jump in, who is not sitting outside talking of the water, but actually stepping into the water. Satguru Seva, so jan leke. Those who are following it, they are the true followers, they are the true seekers on the path. Nanak naam vase ghate. Then inside you, it manifests. His word, His presence, His light manifest, and you are forever and ever at peace. So that's a hymn on page 128 or 129. So with this, we'll take a pause at it. Thank you all for coming, and if anything I said offended or hurt you, I'm seriously sorry. Now if there's any questions or comments, the lines are still open.